Okay, Team A, start with Eon. Do you have anything for us today? Anything you're looking at?
Hi. Yes, I'm looking at USD Swiss franc sell.
Okay.
The logic is that we have, let's say, we have a downtrend on the 1 hour. Okay. We have a downtrend here. Guy who started it here. Here. The last guy who started it was taken. Okay. And now I consider that we are in a pullback. This could be a primary, a secondary here, and now we have a range, considering here a trap with the last trap here, and I'm waiting to sell from here when the price comes here and to sell at least to the lower low.
Okay. Yep. In terms of what we have here, that's all good. We haven't really talked about volume, but the main thing that I'm a little bit worried about for this pair is because I know we are not really in a trend. So that's a big concern. If that's the case, then we're not sure if we have any kind of trend pullback to trade. Yeah.
Yeah, this is also my concern, but it's the best pair I have today.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. So if we just go one time frame higher, yes, I do see we have this strong push. Is this really if there's no slowdown, yeah, maybe a primary or secondary from there, and it's a launch phase just based on just based on that design alone. But I'm not sure if we are in a trending mode.
Yes, we are also on the 4 hour at resistance.
Support, you mean?
Or support, yes.
Yeah. So I'm unsure about this one. Although on the 60 it does look good, just in terms of the price action. But yeah, the flow doesn't really look super convincing. It's time like this where volume will sort of give you a heads up. So yes, we have high volume up here, but you see high volume also at the bottom here. So
no. This volume is for this pullback. Yeah. It's this turn.
No. So that high volume, you have this piece, right? You're looking for this cell, right?
Yes.
So when you're looking for this cell, you're looking at, okay, so from this to this, where's the high volume? You have volume up there for sure in that range.
Yes.
But you also have high volume at the bottom. So this trend, this downtrend, okay, it's 50-50. All right. So when you're gauging the pullback, this uptrend is not weak, it's strong because you have volume at the bottom.
Yes, but looking on the 5 minutes, this volume is lost in time. We'll see how it behaves at this on the 5 minutes. Yeah. So on the 5 minutes, we see this pullback. Looking on volume, on the guy who started it, on this level here, how it behaves, and will take action according to the edge we have.
Yeah, but the edge we have states that, if our pullback has high volume from the bottom, and then you don't really consider this as a safe trade. What you were saying about this 5-minute pullback do not have volume. You're looking at just this piece, right?
Yes.
But from there, we do not have any lower lows starting from here. So this is where the high volume ends. I mean, this push ends and the high volume was at the bottom there. So let me just see where that exactly is. Around here, right? So it's not so much about, okay, because a lot of time has passed, there's no volume there. Remember what volume means. Volume means someone was taking action down at this price. Whether they're selling or buying, that's what we're not sure yet. So if they're selling down here with high volume, that means they are trapped, right? This zone may not let you go easily. Could do this. That's if they're selling and they're trapped. If, on the other hand, they are buying, then we also have the same conclusion that, they might load up to buy again. So it's not so much about time has passed, so no one's there anymore. They're still there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is it's a big range. A big range with high volume.
Yep.
Can we compare this volume with the sum of all this volume?
You can consider that this range has a lot of volume. Generally speaking, let's say if we're in a very good downtrend, healthy downtrend, okay, and then you have a pullback, and then you have all this high volume, and then push down. All right, if that's the case, yes, you have high volume here. If the downtrend is healthy, then I would say try and go for the sell if there's high volume at the top. Otherwise, if the trend is like one indication saying that it's not really a trend pullback, and then you have high volume as well at the bottom, then that increases the risk of selling this piece. So you gotta put all the pieces together and see if it's worth taking the risk or not.
Okay. So is it dangerous? I would take the chance to take a sell from here. Oh, where is my notation?
From here, right?
From here to the first to the area where the volume is.
You can, but you just have to make sure there's enough space.
Okay, the risk reward.
Yeah. All right. So try not to just look at what you want to see. You also need to consider the other things that might mess with the trade, such as the volume and the overall trend, which is not trending. All right. So
okay, we also got a higher low here. Yeah. Okay. This was my shot. Yeah.
The higher low is not a problem because if you're waiting for this, there's always going to be a higher low before a push down. So higher low.
Okay, before launching. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Jay, you have anything that you're looking at?
I'm looking at USD CAD, but I'm not sure if it's going to play out for a little bit or if it left.
Okay, so what you're looking.
So these sellers came down, they refreshed, they filled a little lower, and then just created this big range. And then it finally broke out, but the breakout wasn't the best. So I want price where these last sellers were sitting.
Yep.
However, if we make our way down, I feel like there will be some temporary sellers in this area. So I might do like a little primary, secondary before it launches. I don't know how long that's going to take though. And the volume Looks good too.
Yep. What's the risk on this one?
Counter trend.
Yep. Sort of still counter trend, right? I like the way that you're saying we have refreshed to sell, and the sell failed. In cases like this, right, when we have a refresh and then they tried multiple legs to go down, if we have built a good trap to work with, let's say you know that this could be a primary, and then after the fact that, okay, maybe this is the secondary, and here's where it begins to launch, right? And then I think you were saying you wanted to sell this piece. So you know for sure people were thinking this zone is a launch phase, right?
Right.
When this launch phase fail, right, you know, after multiple push, if we create a trap, that would be an ideal situation to buy. Just based on the fact that, okay, everyone thinks it's a sell now, the primary, secondary has done its job, launch phase has done its job, but it's failing. I can try and attempt a temporary counter trend there. I'm saying here is a little bit safer versus here, because just based on the logic that, you know, this price cannot make lower lows. So maybe higher price is gonna push price down. You know, considering the fact that who knows, maybe on the daily, once we go to the daily and check on the daily or on the 240, all this might be a slowdown. And then this is the huge, big primary situation.
Yeah, I checked the higher time frames. Maybe I looked at it wrong, but the buy had space.
Okay, yeah. So this piece here, you understand, right? That the buy here is still sort of safe because the sells try from a higher price and they can't make lower lows. Yeah.
Just one concern about that. Would it be in the middle of a range if we do that?
Yeah, sort of. Your if this buy fails and then comes back down, then for sure this zone here is not an ideal situation to buy anymore. But if you know for sure that this zone people were trying to slam to make lower lows and that failed, then yeah.
Okay, I see.
So just to give you guys one more example, it's sort of like USD yen. Remember when we were saying this is primary, this is secondary, this is the launch phase to go down kind of situation. If that area fails, it's the same kind of situation where we can potentially think of a buy up to here, that kind of thing. Okay. Yep, let's check the higher time frame. Okay, higher time frame on the 240, we have officially slowed down to come to 20 MA to refresh the sell. Okay, that failed. Now 240 has refreshed and failed, and we're still in a counter trend. So let's just quickly check the daily. On the daily, we have slowed down for sure. And we are approaching 20 MA. So yes, still have space. So you're good for now. Then if the counter trend is safe for now, then like you said, yeah, if this thing comes down again, I'm not sure if the 20 MA is gonna catch up. But the best scenario would be for this piece to continue pushing down and then pick up the buy there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good. You checked everything on the daily, and you went to the daily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's still safe before the daily refreshes.
I didn't think about the 20 catching up, but
yeah, it's there. So what might happen for later this week is, so we know we are pretty close to the 20 MA. Let's say if we reach the 20 MA later this week, around here, let's say, we know there's buyers here for sure. So if that thing fails, okay, then we can try and attempt to sell, assuming that we might be a daily refresh or we're just probing back into the 60-minute range situation. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Let me move you guys here. Right. Okay. Yeah, not too much we can do for this one, but here's one thing we can potentially do. Since we are sort of coming down on the daily here, all right, and especially on the 240, we're still very much in the downtrend. What we can do is just to mark out where the last trap is, release zone or range lows kind of situation here. And then try to see if we can get a slowdown later today. And if there's a slowdown on the 5 to potentially catch a primary of the daily. You know, this thing has slowed down. So if we do touch the 20 MA, it might be a primary, right? So let's just see if we are able to catch that kind of sell at the top here. Okay, maybe for the New York session. So let me just mark an alarm there. All right. Eric?
Yep. I think I looked at all the pairs. I think USD CAD, I was looking at that one. I was also, I was sort of waiting for the sell. So that's the only one that is going with the trend. Everything else is more kind of like counter trend. But the best pair that I have is British pound, Swiss franc.
Okay.
Yeah. So so we could see this very obvious is a counter trend. The overall trend is for sell and it just breaks through that huge range. But it seems that that thing is overextended. We've got high volume at the bottom, which is that area. Now the price, it kind of like created this kind of trap here. So, but this one, I'm not 100% sure this guy has been taken out at the moment. But one thing that we have is we don't really have a good volume in this spot. I think that volume is somewhere up there. So now we do have a little range with high volume at the bottom. So there is a opportunity if I can get a lower enough price here and with volume, with London Open and all that, there might be a chance to buy. And yeah, so my first target would be somewhere there. But I was just looking at the 5 minutes, and this one, Frankfurt Open, has created some high volume there, but we'll see London. But yeah, so that's I think that's the best pair I have at the moment. I checked 4 hour. The 20 MA is still far away. Both MAs, they're still quite far away, so I do have some room to work with. And I was also looking at the correlation with the other Swiss franc pair is also doing the similar thing, but this pair is, I think, looks the best, the overall trend and stuff. And if you look at the 4 hour, the overall trend is actually going up. So more or less, I think, and I'm working at sort of 4 hour good level here. So there's a good chance for the buy to work. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, so 60-minute, I like this piece as well, but this piece, we have to make sure it's at least coming from somewhere else, because it's really it's a super strong counter trend. So at least on this pair, you have that situation here. It's a huge range on the left that could give you an opportunity for some type of a launch.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I was saying it could be some type of a launch is I sort of knew that the daily could be doing something as well. Well, you guys don't really need to do this, but it's sort of this kind of situation where we were coming from this huge chunk. We have a huge chunk on top, right? We came down multiple times, came to that area, and this might just be might just be a huge now
daily refresh.
Yeah, daily refresh or even a weekly refresh. So if this is one push up, might be a weekly primary kind of thing.
Primary, yeah.
Yeah. Then this might be a weekly secondary kind of thing.
Secondary, yeah.
So I sort of knew this ahead of time. But regardless of that, as long as on your 60, this thing is way too small to consider it as, you know, a good enough area for potential release. That's why we have to use stuff like that.
Right.
But it's good. I have the same analysis on this one as well. So yeah, I have marked this. We'll come back to this with other correlated pairs. So far, volume is here, right? And then it's here. So it's pretty far away.
Yeah. Yep. So in terms of the target, if we have in this kind of situation, right? So this volume is here, right? So somewhere here, somewhere here.
Yep.
So would that be an area that could cause us problem, even though we don't really see a level on this time frame? Would we expect the price? Let's say the price did pass that, and would we expect some sort of reaction from that area?
You might, just because on this 60-minute time frame, everyone is thinking that it's a sell. So it's situations like this one, USD Swiss, right? Even though we get above, let's say if this is a downtrend, even though we get above this area here, right, it will still have issues just because of how strong the downtrend is.
Yeah.
So I think this one, the safest area would be here. And then beyond that, all right, it can come up to here, but it can chop a lot before going up there.
Yeah. And also that's a logical area for the refresh as well. It's kind of like a 50% discount for these guys.
Yeah. Yep. Perhaps.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So our only job right now is just to wait and see how this piece is going to increase volume at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe in the London session later, next candle, maybe with a high volume kind of situation.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, Williams, you see anything today?
I'm pretty much looking at the same pairs we've been talking about. Then I'm watching USD C1.
The one we just talked about just now?
And that was USD card. But it's pretty much the same.
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay. All right. Then Maya, are you looking at anything for us today? Or not for us, but for yourself.
Yeah, I'm currently in sell on the pound dollar. got some long trades running or long-term trades running, and then every pullback I sell. So I got in this morning on a secondary and a primary.
Okay.
Is that marked for you?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I took out this low here, and then I got in there. And I think there I scaled in also, but my targets, I'm actually on a long-term target here on the daily 4-hour, targeting 131 sort of. So it's more a swing trade than a scalping one. So it's not what we're doing right now, yeah, but I do have short ones where I will get out. You can't really see a trap on the left hand side. The only trap you can see, if you go back where you were now, we're on the 4 hours. Yeah, this area, yeah, is the next logical area for me to get out. Unless it comes back strong, then I will close out some positions. But that's my plan on the pound, because I'm also, I mean, last time when they raised rates for the pound, it got quite strong up here, and they priced it in from here. And I think they're already going to start pricing in again for the interest rates now for the US, which will make the dollar very strong. So I expect a nice drop on the pound this week. So we'll see.
Okay. Yep. I believe we were talking about a sell somewhere along the lines last week, around here. Yep. Now it's in an on phase. Yep, let's see how far this thing can go.
Yeah, I made some nice sells on Friday also on this.
Oh, nice. Around here.
Yeah, and then got out just before market close, closed out my profits. And then I've got some running, and I scaled in this morning.
Nice, nice. Yeah, good work for this one.
Aussie is more or less doing the same thing. So every pullback I get on the Aussie, I'll also sell. Aussie dollar, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, most USD are gaining a lot of strength right now. So could be a potential cheese kind of week for USD. All right. Team B, are you guys looking at anything?
There is Aussie CAD and Euro CAD for sell, depending on the volume, what it does for now. It wasn't looking that good.
Okay. So what do you see for Aussie CAD?
Aussie CAD, I saw that this buyer tried to go up, and then we have this huge down, and then it tried to come up from this area.
I need to. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it did many tries here, and it failed again. And I have the volume behind me, a big volume here. And then I'm waiting just to see what happens when it comes to here somewhere. If I have the volume behind me to take it down just to the recent lows. On the 5, the volume is, I think the volume is here. So that's not good for now, but I'm waiting for opening hours to see what happens. If it's behind me, then it could be a good temporary sell.
Okay, to where?
Depending on the volume, maybe here or maybe to this area. If I see that a good transfer from here to this side, to the sell side.
Okay, so this one,
because
sell, right, and then they died. This is a downtrend, so people counter trending, right? So just might be a refresh, right? we do not really need to check if it's a refresh or not because we can clearly see buyers coming in, right? And then they got killed. So having that said, I don't know, maybe this is a higher time frame primary, higher time frame secondary, like spike the primary kind of situation. Whatever the case is, this guy got killed. When this thing punches down, all these guys are trapped, right? So their trap came up, I think Friday, this is late Friday, I believe, around here, stalls a bit, and then market open this morning and then just drops. So if that's the case, this should be the on phase. If we do get a pullback,
with less volume.
Here's where it gets a little bit concerning for me. Because we already have a refresh, right? This is the on phase. And if we're in an on phase, we're generally expecting price to come down hard and fast. So the fact that it pulls back again, maybe it's not so healthy. But if there's high volume again here, then I think I would give it a shot also.
Yeah.
Trying to take it down to here.
Yeah. Because this level has already tried and failed, then you could take it to this level.
Yeah. Yeah, if this tried once, right? If this second time it goes up and then fail again, slow down, then yeah, it may be continuation of this on move. So primary, secondary, this is like the first clear push down, then sort of like the second clear push down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, again, my concern here is if this is on, why is it leaving in dead hours and then why is it coming back again right now? So it can still go, but let's see what the volume does around here.
Yeah, exactly. If you have it behind you with good volume, and you just take it. Yeah.
Yep.
For now, it's not that good. I think there is some volume here, so you just wait and see what happens. It has to transfer. EuroCAD is also similar, but it is reacting from a volume area on the 5. For now, I don't know what happened.
Okay. Yep, EuroCAD, let's have a look at that in a bit. Yep, let's put an alarm here. Just, yeah, hopefully we get a deep enough pullback because right now, the way I'm looking at this, let's say if you're trying to get in on the 5, the safest area for us to at least have a stop, right? The safest area is above all this range. So maybe around there, right? Because we're expecting if someone's trapped up there, here, they would want to release around that zone. So stops here might be too tight. I'm just trying to see where my stop is so I can expect a pullback that has enough risk reward, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's this area here that would be a little bit ideal for us. Put an alarm there. Otherwise, it's a bit too low.
Okay.
All right. Yep. I have EuroCAD too. My EuroCAD is okay. What's your read on this one?
I have this area, and it has come up here, and I'm seeing this like one primary maybe, and then I see volume here. So now the volume is here, and I'm waiting just to see what happens because it came down, and this is now, it doesn't look that good because I'm seeing volume down here. So if I see big volume, this volume transferring to the other side, this could be also a sell because this try, I need it to fail. So it comes down and take it to the recent low.
Yep.
I need to have this volume behind me.
Yep. So you're not thinking of the buys, right?
No, sell again.
Okay, with this downtrend, right?
Yeah.
So, yep, this is good. Let's just check one more thing if this is actually enough of a refresh.
Yeah.
So 240, not much slowdown, just one swing down and then all the way to a 50 MA, right? So it might just be a refresh. And then you were saying maybe you were trying to take the sell for a primary, right?
Yeah, and that's too late for it.
Yeah, it's too late now. So right now, these are people who are thinking of a counter trend, which is this piece that broken out. So people are thinking it's a buy. If these buyers fail, then that would be your secondary, and then yes, this would be your on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I need to transfer that volume to the other side.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, good. Very, very good. I like this one as well. Yeah, because I was scanning my pairs like that. So I saw Euro CAD first. And then when I see USD CAD and the one, Jay, you were talking about, then it gave me some hesitation on doing the buys. Yeah, because this one feels like it's a potential refresh, maybe for tomorrow or Wednesday kind of thing.
Yeah. It's in these situations, maybe it's good to check the correlation to see if the USD is looks good for buy. Let's check the other CADs.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep. So yeah, I like this pair. Let's just it might be for tomorrow, but who knows? Let's just put it on there. All right. Yep. Team B. Any other pairs you guys are looking at?
Lucas, I got a quick question on the pair just now.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was looking at this pair as well, but I was not quite sure if that because we don't really have good volume over that price level. So in this kind of situation, do we think it still can be potentially a primary? If because I think one of the reasons is that it happened in the not in the Asian session or that hours.
Yeah, it can still potentially be a primary. So so the thing is, we would only be sure after the fact in this case. But let's say if we are trying to do a secondary, let's say this piece here, we're expecting it to not make higher highs and then fail. It can work as well. Then what we need to do is just go to the 5, see where the last trap is, right? Would be around here, that kind of thing. Yeah. So this entire zone here. So in situations like these, as market is opening soon, you can potentially wait for this thing to go up. If let's say there's high volume here again, then this could be a higher time frame secondary coming in to breach the lows.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's not out of the question for sure. It's just not the on situation.
Yeah.
So let's just say if we're trying to do that, let's say if we put could this be the area? I'm not quite sure. Let's go to the 60, have a look there. It might be, but again, sometimes primary, secondary can come off levels that's not really a trap. So it has a possibility of doing that as well. So all you need to do is just stay on the 5 in situations like this. And then as we get up towards that kind of zone, just see how volume is and how the trend dies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, anyone have question for this? For trying to potentially sell the secondary? All good? Right,
So,
Dennis? Go ahead.
oh, Dennis can go. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Jay.
So if we're trying to sell the secondary, are we just basing it off of the 5-minute level or the 60? Because on the 60, I don't really see a level.
Yeah, we're just basing it off the 5-minute because our assumption here is if this is a breach towards the upside, pullback, we're expecting this piece to not make higher highs and then turn to become a secondary. So that's our whole assumption here, that this could be a primary. These guys who are thinking that it's a buy, they try to buy, and we are trying to see when they fail on the 5 to turn things around. Then
So
yeah,
that's the-
you wouldn't see it on the 60-minute. You wouldn't see the trap on the 60-minute.
So that's the case for all secondaries. If we don't have a level on the 60, we could still attempt it.
Yep, you can. It also depends on how the structure looks like. So let's say if this is a pullback of an uptrend, let's just say that this is a primary. All right, it goes up. It might, if this thing goes all the way through, you could expect your secondary coming in and, and in this case, having a 60-minute trap as well.
Okay.
So it depends on where the primary comes from. So this is the part where I think Naveen will explain it a little bit better than me. But imagine this: if you go and investigate a higher time frame for this particular push, and if it's coming from a much higher time frame, then on the 60 it's going to be huge, right? To the point where it's going to create a trap on the 60. So imagining this as maybe like a push from the weekly kind of situation where it's doing the weekly primary. It's because it's a weekly, the push on the 60 is going to be huge and it's going to create a trap. Versus maybe stuff like this, maybe this is a 240 primary and 240 and 60 is not so far apart, right? So maybe the 240 primary is not big enough to create a trap on the 60-minute.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But the easiest kind of trade is always having the trap form on the 60, and that's the easiest one.
Mm.
Right. Yep, very good question. Yep, Team B, any of you guys have any pairs you guys are looking at?
Hey, Lucas, I had a question from that EuroCAD we were just on. If we take this secondary, where would our targets be? Would they be at the low, or because we're thinking it has a potential to go through, do we target lower areas?
So because sometimes secondary can be tricky, if it gets a little bit higher, I'll try and take some action here. Maybe moving my stops back towards where the high ends. So let's say, just moving our stops in a little bit. Target primarily would be at least the low of the primary. If the assumption is right, we should push down to this area here.
Okay.
Yeah, but then it's tricky to anticipate this push.
Yeah, I was thinking about it this weekend. I remember I was trying to find it, but I thought somewhere you had talked about primaries are generally pretty good to take, and then the on phase, but the secondaries are kind of like not as good to take if we were to rank them. If I remember that correctly, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, because primary, you have a clear target. So let's say if you sell this piece, you know at least your target is the SNRs or where the high volume is. Secondary, the reason why it's tough is because remember when we were talking about the type A, B, C, sometimes your before a trap form, you could do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what and I see that a lot on the secondaries. You never really know when it's going to bust through. So I guess that answers the question of where to take it to.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get out. Don't assume it's going to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the worst thing that could happen to us is getting in there or here. Let's say we're not always going to get the highest price, right? Let's say we get in here and then this thing starts doing this. So it's better to just, if price gets towards the low, just get out full size. Yeah, just in case this happens.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Yep, Casey, you're looking at anything else?
No, Lucas, just not really. Just kind of, we talked about most of them, and it just seemed like kind of a morning where just a study kind of morning. I didn't really see anything setting up.
Yep. Does feel like it. Same goal for Dennis. Ross, I think you had a question just now.
I think you answered. Basically, I'm looking at that chart, that big, with the previous one you're on, that big volume is what really worried me in doing anything. Yeah, that one there. And even on the secondary, how you'd sort of be confident to take that any distance, but you answered it, but you look for slowdowns at that point and maybe exit. So no, you answered my question. Thanks.
No problem. So yeah, the easiest setup is always just to have a 60-minute creating a trap itself with the trend. Then that's the easiest one. Yep, Layla.
Do you take it to here, or do you take it to there? I'm thinking maybe here.
It depends how this thing pushes down. So this ideally would be this price ideally would be okay.
If it comes down to here, then comes up slowly, maybe you can take it to there.
Yeah.
Depending on what, if it comes, okay.
If it comes down hard and then slow, then I think it can get through that zone.
It could be cleared like the landmine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All we need to worry about is how this thing pushes down, because if it's too strong, too far, and then it starts pulling back, then this piece, again, we cannot read it on the 5 anymore, right? Then we have to wait for it to slow down again on the 60-minute. And then we only go to the 5 here kind of situation if it's too strong.
Yeah. Because that could mean that it belongs to the higher time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Sure. All right. So Pound Swiss and Aussie CAD. Let's put them on the correlated pairs. Williams.
Yeah, I just have a question on USD Swiss francs.
Yep. Go ahead. It's going now.
Yeah, I was going to ask, will you consider this area as a good release point?
Yes.
Because most of the volumes is from the buyer side at the bottom.
Yep. It's definitely a good zone. As Eon was saying, all this have pulled back, invited a lot of buyers. You have a lot of volume. That's no doubt for sure. You know, people are trapped up there, and you would expect some kind of a push down. It's just I'm not sure how far this thing could go because there's a little bit of volume here,
Right.
and the main concern is we're not so much in a trending state. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're looking to sell here, that's fine, but this zone here would be tricky because we're not sure if it can get through or not.
Yeah, because I was leaning more towards USD strength this week as well. So,
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Yep. Let's see. Let's see what this thing can do. Eon, did you attempt this?
No, because I do not have a good entry.
Okay.
The price didn't reach my area.
Okay.
My level.
Okay. All right, let's put some of the pairs here. What do we have? Pound Swiss. Was it? Yep. Eric, you brought up this pair, right? Which other correlated pairs were you looking at?
I was looking at, just give me 1 sec. I was looking at Cat Swiss. Looks like the same sort of shape.
Okay.
And then let's have a look at New Zealand Swiss as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look. Yeah, Aussie Swiss is slightly going downwards, but similar. Yeah.
Okay. So I would say, yeah, let's open them up a little bit more just to see if on the higher time frame they could be stopping at any area. So 240 Cat Swiss, let's see. On the 240, the area where we would expect some kind of release would be here, which is not really there yet. This one, not sure if volume is behind or above us.
That's true. Yeah.
Behind or in front of us. It has similar design, so that's okay. Let's look at Kiwi Swiss. Let's see if we are coming into a zone on the 240 daily. Yep, maybe coming into this last little cells trap area here. Right, so it's a good area, good volume. So all of that is decent. So far, yeah, I think this looks a lot better than Kiwi Swiss. Let's have a look at this one. Then Pound Swiss, sorry. All this Swiss, downtrend, counter trending. Let's see. No, right? Not really coming to any kind of trap or release. All right. So let's see. This is the one. Maybe this one here. Euro Swiss. Swiss yen. Swiss yen. Expecting this to go down, right? Not too sure.
Swiss yen is quite different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could go down or go up. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'll do in cases like this where I cannot really see a correlated pair is I'll just try and see if it could be coming from the pounds maybe. So it's not really pound cat. Maybe. It's not really a setup we're looking for at this point. We're just looking for the pattern or the shape. What else do we have? Pound yen. Okay, not really. Euro pound. Not really as well. What else do we have? Nope. Nope. All right. So it's more of a Swiss thing, I guess. Okay, that's fine. All right. So same thing on pound Swiss. Overall, we know on the higher time frame, 60-minute, we know this area here might give us a release. In this downtrend, highest volume is at the bottom. Next highest volume is right around here. Right? So on the push up, it's uptrend okay, looks okay, doesn't really have volume ahead. Pull back, we have some high volume. So let's see. Okay, guy who started don't have volume as well. All right, let's see on the 5. So we have high volume up here. We are at the release zone. So far, we do not have a new guy who started yet. Might this be one guy? I'm inclined to say no. The clearest situation right now for us is to have a bigger range form that does this. Then if we do our buys here, at least we can take some action there. Or for this thing to make new lows, new trap to buy there. Right? So right now, we have higher volume at the top. We don't really have super high volume at the bottom just of yet. So we gotta wait and see what this might do. Otherwise, it may be a little bit tricky. Yeah? Is this what you're planning, Eric?
Yeah, sort of. I think if it goes into this kind of scenario, I also want to see some good volume here before, if it does this, before that happens.
Yep.
If there's no good volume here, because the concern is still there. So yeah, but my performance in the past for counter trend was not very good. Obviously, I didn't have learned everything this week. So yeah, I'm very cautious by taking a counter trend trade.
Yeah. The other thing that's tricky about this is we're not sure where our guy who started is. He doesn't feel like he's here, right? He feels like he's up there.
Yeah. That week is just too small.
Yeah. So let's wait and see. We do have high volume coming in now. Let's see what London candle does. So that's pound Swiss. So far it's like sort of like standalone pair situation right now. Okay. Aussie cat, the other one we had. Who brought up Laila? Do you have any other correlated pairs you were looking at for Aussie cat?
I just looked at Aussie CAD and Euro CAD.
Okay. So we have this.
New Zealand card as well.
New Zealand cat. Yep. Euro cat, like we were saying just now, it might be secondary. I'm not sure because it's very quick. Regardless of the case, this is not for a buy for sure. USD CAD is a little bit 50-50 for me. Jay was talking about this buy. Williams was saying Kiwi CAD, yes, Kiwi CAD is in a downtrend. It might just be a very small time frame refresh situation, and sales may be coming in. Okay. Now they all don't really have the same kind of look or pattern, but let's just open up Aussie CAD to see if we can potentially get in on this one. All right. I see this piece here, this low, here, maybe all this low here that could release. So the 5, do we have buyers coming in yet? No. Yeah, it's all still sells that's pushing down from the top. From this guy, it's all this guy's move. So the only thing we want to do is get buyers to come in, trap them, and then sell. Yeah. It's a little bit too early right now. Now let me ask you guys this. Why, in this case, are we waiting for buyers to come in instead of just hitting the sells as it pulls back? What's the difference there? And anyone know?
The sell was not the one that made low is up there. So there is no guy who is killed there.
Yep. That's correct. Let me see what the other guys have to say. Williams?
I don't think we have enough. I mean, with the volume, with the buyers coming in, I think there's still more buyers coming in.
Okay. Eric?
Yeah, I think we need the buyers to have a trap on the 5 minutes. Then we take the trade.
Yeah. So the main thing here is we need the 5 minutes to have a trap for us to trade. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Well, not all the time, but let's just say we have this as a primary. And then secondary goes down. Let's say there's high volume here, okay? And then the piece starts to pull back. Let's say, oh, this is the 60-minute. The reason why this structure is important is because we want to know when we are selling on the 5 minute, which piece are we selling from? So let's say if we are sitting right here. We're sitting right here and we see that, okay, we are coming, secondary has confirmed, we have come through, let's say we have broken this zone here. Let's say like that, something like that. Let's say we have broken a guy who started and we're going down now. Market is open and we're in the right position. When we sell this piece, it can, on the 5 minute, it can just be a one single candle push down. We're just getting in on the next candle to continue going down. Here, this piece. But when this piece ends, let's say it stops. What does stopping mean? Stopping just mean, the downtrend dies. So when a downtrend dies at a zone and then starts pulling back, this is again the next trade we take. So this sell that we were taking is part of the secondary push. So this primary, we're selling part of the secondary push going down. When we start pulling back again, then we need a new trap on the 5 because we are setting the next piece. Everyone follow along. So let's say we are sitting right here. Let's say this is the guy who started, just for the sake of example. As market open and then we breach down, we know we can at least try to get down towards this zone here. Assuming that this is primary, and let's assume this is secondary. As market opens, breaches down, we do not need any trap anymore on the 5. We just want to get in because we're assuming that secondary has cleared and it's going to launch towards the next zone here. Then it stops there, and then this is like the next piece coming in. So when the next piece comes in, then we fade the 5 minute again. Does that make sense for everyone?
Yep.
Okay, Lila and Williams, you guys have a question? Hold on to that. Let me just try and draw it out one more time.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Okay, so, and then you have this. At this point, everyone understands in a downtrend, this might just be a primary, this might just be a secondary. And as we learned in the first week, this is a release for on, right? It's all clear, right? So right now, not right now, but we are always looking at traps on the 60. So this right here, 60. If I were to draw it out on the 5, it would be, let's say like this, okay? Let's say all this choppy up, choppy down, choppy up. This is your primary, let's say. And then secondary comes in, secondary goes, okay, like that. And then the next piece on to go down. So let's say this is primary, this is secondary. When we clear the guy who started, let's say here, we can get in on any 5 minute singular candle pullback to just join the sell here. And then joining this sell, assuming that we're still part of this main push down. So at least you guys know where like a move can stop, right? A move usually stops at where a release point is or where high volume is. So in this case, let's assume that there is high volume here. And we assume that, okay, secondary is probably going to stop there. And then a new set of pullback comes in. So secondary might stop here. And then new set of pullback coming in. Now this piece, we need to fade the 5 minute uptrend because the downtrend has shifted from down to up. Now we have to wait for this up to go back down. Hence, we want to have a trap form on the 5 here. And then we join again. Does this answer your question, Laila?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I understand this piece, the secondary, and it is here when you put a limit order. If it comes fast, it comes down, and I think that's what you mean. If it comes down and you don't want to miss it, and you put a limit order to take it down to this stop.
Yep.
But the problem for me is, what if it just goes to the stop and you have put a limit order before going in?
Then
the stop.
Then you have to remove the stop. So
Yeah.
the next pullback that comes in is a new pullback that's visible on the 60. Then this piece you have to again read the entire 5-minute pullback, wait for a 5-minute trend to end with a trap. This thing gets killed, and then your limit here again.
Yeah, this piece I'm seeing, I don't know how to do it safely, because it can go down very fast and go up very fast. I'm thinking it's quite risky.
Which piece?
The secondary piece, if let's say it's going down and you want to have a better price, so you put a limit order to take it down. But this you have your order, but this piece just goes until the stop, and the stop comes up right away.
Then you have to see where this piece goes. If it goes right to sort of like your target for the secondary move, then you just have to remove your order and then wait for price to pull back again to get in.
Yeah, you have to be on your toes so it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
You have time to, yeah, okay, thanks. That was it.
Yeah. I'll show you guys an example from last year, I think. Yeah, no question for this piece. So the whole reason why I was saying that is because this is our primary, secondary that we're looking at. All right, this is sort of like a pullback. We are reading it on the 5 to launch. Right. So that's why I'm not too sure if a new set of 5-minute comes in is actually a good thing or not. Because the assumption that this should be on, if a new set of 5-minute pullback comes in again, then how strong is this downtrend? Right? And hence it makes more sense for this thing to just stalls a bit and then crash. We might not get an entry if that's the case. But if it pulls back, it's good for our risk reward, but it might not be safe for the sell. Do you guys understand the dilemma there? Yeah. Yeah, Williams.
The crash down is good for sell, but price is flat.
So can we use the mini range to fade the buyers? You know, we have to watch the pullback, then trap the buyers, then continue the sales. But can we use this range to fade the buyers on the lower time frames?
To fade this buyer here?
No, the one, I mean, to continue the sell, but we have to watch the pullback on this one, then find the trap buyers there, then continue the sell. I'm just saying that, can we use the range as well on the lower time frame?
So use this range for lower time frame to sell, right?
Yeah.
Yep, you can. That's what we are all trying to do. It's just that, ideally speaking, on the 5, because this is sort of like in an on phase situation, and your last guy who started the sell is here, we are expecting price to just go and not really make new trap on the 5 again, because if it makes new trap again on the 5, despite being in this range, it doesn't feel like the trade is safe and on and strong.
Oh, I didn't know you was talking about this piece going up. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, this piece, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So on this pair, right? The ideal scenario for us was when I was looking at this yesterday, I saw high volume up there, right? And then market only opened around here. So my plan was for this to stall around, wait for a bit, and then when London open, goes down, and then just give me a slight test to continue going down. That was initially my plan. But because London opened, before London Open, Asia Open, and then it was all the way at the bottom. If it's all the way at the bottom, then I'm thinking that I have missed the trade completely. It should just continue going down. So if it pulls back again, then I'm not sure. So initial plan was something like that. For this thing to stall a bit, clear the entire zone, give me a small pullback with my stops here for this to make or this bigger break anyway, to make lower low situation.
Lucas, can you just explain again why the stop is so high?
Right now, or you mean?
Yeah, you said if you would take the sell, the stop, you talked about that earlier in the morning also.
Well, because I cannot see where the trap is because it's a range. So I see this attempt from buyers here, obviously, right? Stops here maybe too tight because who knows, buyers are waiting for here to release, here to release, here to release. So my stops really have to be out of the way of all these potential release areas. Hence, it has to be around there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's different when you have a range, right? Unless you have uptrend that does that and then failed, then the pullback stops can just be there. Where the last attempt, where you can clearly see where the last attempt is. Here, it feels like this could be a last attempt, but then if I put my stops here, maybe they want to release from here or here. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Let's take 5. Then let's come back with more questions. All right, so everyone back? Yeah. So pound Swiss make another push down, and we potentially have a new guy who started, and high volume area. This zone here, the 5. So let's put an alarm there. Okay, let's go back to the 60. All right. Now it shouldn't come any deeper than that. And so now whereas correlation comes into a little bit handy because we are seeing multiple pairs at the same time. Euro Swiss, one of them, is attempting to make new lows. So not a good sign at all, maybe coming from the pounds, or maybe the pounds are holding the markets, something like that. So another pair, Aussie Swiss, is also attempting to make new lows. The pair that Eon was looking at, yep, very strong, sell. So not too sure. Okay, so what we have is pound Swiss is at a level, USD Swiss is at a level which may bounce. CAD Swiss, not sure what it's going to do because it's not really at any kind of trap. New Zealand Swiss. Yep.
So we still have a low volume overall for the moves.
Yep. For which one?
Most of them.
Yeah. Yep. So market is just open. We just gotta see what could happen. Move this a little bit higher. All right, Aussie CAD is coming up deeper. Okay, let's go to the 5. Yep, coming up now. Putting this on standby. All right, one pair that I wanted to show you guys was, where did it go? Where's this one here? Okay. Downtrend, right? Overall downtrend, and buyers coming back in here, killed all the sellers here, right? Once we go up, everyone below is trapped, and it would make sense for people to come in to think of the buys here, right? but we know it's not really a safe buy because we may be counter trending, all that kind of stuff, right? So after that, what we had was guy who started on the 60-minute might be around here. We might have a situation where a refresh could be setting up for us to continue to sell, right? So higher time frame situation, this might be a primary. This might be the B type where it just stalls here, and then resolve down. Right, everyone on the same line. If that's the case, this could be the B type trap. And we know this zone might give us a release. Okay, so as this was coming down, we have to start planning out ahead what this whole structure could be doing. We know it's a refresh. We know primary and secondary has come in. We need to know if the secondary is going to set in, where is it going to stop? Might just stop here. Might just, right? SNR, that kind of situation, might just stop price. Doesn't mean it's going to react hard, but it's an area where sellers could take some money out and then reload again if it does this. So this is the piece where it's important. When we're selling this piece, we got to make sure we are inside that piece. Here or here or here before it reaches the zone where it could stop. So if we're inside this piece, this area here as it is coming down, then yeah, our target would be here. And then this would be another set of pullback for the on phase. Right, this piece you have to read on the 5 then, right? Because on the 5, because on the 60 we have a level to work off. Yeah, everyone understand so far? Right, nothing really new, right? Drop down to the 5. Okay, we are assuming this is the higher time frame primary, and then this is the B type situation. And then it breaks down here. Now, here's where things are a little bit tricky. So let me make this into 2 charts. Let's go back here, pound yen. Okay. Where is the thing? I'll just do it like that. All right. Let me know if anything starts to get confusing. Yeah. So main guy, which is here, right? Main guy, push up, higher time frame primary, which is here. This upper piece is 5 minute, goes down, stalls, and then here is where market open. Okay, which is around this zone here. So if, let's say, we're assuming that market has opened and we are assuming that we're joining the secondary push, then our sell can just be waiting for a pullback to come down. We don't really need to create a trap anymore if we're assuming that all these guys are trapped, if that's the assumption. All these guys are trapped. Then we join whatever's launching at that moment. So this launch, we didn't know it's going to pull back that deep, but the main thing I'm trying to say here is our guy who started is still here. We are just joining whatever is going down, this piece. But when this piece stops at sort of like an area where it can turn the trend around, this next piece, we're not just going to sell it anywhere along the lines. We're not going to just sell any kind of pullback. We have to wait for it to stop. Okay, so for that piece, where's my playback tool? All right. For that piece, see how the trend sort of changed? We pushed down, lower low, lower high, and then sort of went up. This is not an area where we would just want to hit the sell. This selling it from here without considering anything versus this piece here is totally different, because here we're assuming that we're launching with whatever's going on. Here, it has already reached 60-minute zone, and then it can start to do a whole new set of pullback again. So this piece here, then this is the piece where we have to make sure the 5-minute guys, they slow down, create a trap on the 5-minute, and then the uptrend dies and then turn. This one here. There's the difference between this piece and this piece, where how we sell it could be a little bit different. Any questions? Does it make sense?
Hey, Lucas, on this one, it's pretty clear. I was thinking, like, where would you put your stops? And obviously it'd be over that that last guy who started, but I guess it's not always going to be that clear. So where would you just put your stops if you were to try to get in on this? And it was, the pattern was a little bit different. You just kind of find the last guy who made the push. Does that make sense?
Doing this sell here?
Let me. Yes. So this one's pretty clear. Stuff's annotates right in the way. There we go. Yeah. So if you were to just take this one, take that sell, your stops would more than likely be up here, correct?
Yep.
I guess what I was saying, if it's not so clear, sometimes after you're set to, say you had your primary coming up and then your secondary, and then it breaks, and then you're trying to get in on that little quick sell, where, on your 5, would you look for like a stop, like a little tiny pullback on your 5?
If it's like that, then it's tough because then you really need to know. Then it's better off just waiting for this thing to turn again, because stops are
Okay. Yeah, that when you were drawing it earlier, that was a question I was going to ask. Like, okay, well, where would you put your stops and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, the easiest situation, the easiest scenario to join the B type is for this thing to stall as a range, and then you just join the break of the range to sell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And that's pretty much the only time that you don't need to fade the 5-minute guys.
Yep. So this piece here, you're assuming this is P, this is S, and then you're just joining whatever is going down. The other time where you can do this secondary is if this is, let's say this is your primary, assuming, and then you're fading the up move and then trying to sell from there. So in this case, you would want to try to sell it from the top. Like the example we had earlier where we were saying, okay, 60-minute cannot see any trap, but if I'm assuming that my assumption is right, that this is primary, I can maybe try and get away with a secondary here with a 5-minute trap. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't know what the secondary is gonna do. It might just start being a B type, and then maybe while it's launching, then just quickly join like that. And then that would still be part of the secondary going down. And then new set come in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's only these two scenarios where you have to worry about, or at least think about, to join the primary, secondary, because the third type is just the guy who started goes up and then just slams down, right? So, yeah, you wouldn't have to trade in anyway. So it's just these two.
Okay.
Yeah.
When entering here, how do you know it is not a fake down?
That's a very good question. You have to make sure you have to use correlation seeing everything goes at the same time, volume behind you. So let's say like this, right? You have to make sure that when it resolves down, you actually have high volume behind you. I don't know, maybe in this zone here, this zone here, or this zone here, or these zones here. So they have to be like a wall you can trust.
Okay.
And then, yeah, and then obviously you don't want this thing to just stop like that. This one here, I wasn't able to take this cell here because I wasn't sure if it's actually a strong breach or it's just a fake out. If it's a little bit stronger and you have higher volume up there, then yeah, you can trust that it's not really a faker.
Okay. And also we have here maybe the opening session.
Volume, yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you have volume here, here. Yeah. So it's small stuff like that where understanding the overall market structure is important. Just because we don't want to get in on a sell when the pullback just started kind of situation. Right? Okay, what's this pair doing? It's good. Potential refresh for us to sell afterwards. All right. You guys have any other questions? Or post analysis you guys want to have a look at from Friday? Team A?
Yes, I did Euro GPI count and trend buy.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So were you able to exit everything around that zone?
Yes, I exited 50% here where we see some volume.
Yep.
And then move the stop loss to break even, and then the stop loss was reached. So I got something like half of the initial reward.
Okay.
Initial reward, I sort of.
Good. Yeah. So yeah, very well done there. Considering how risky this is, you were able to get out with at least 0.55. That's a really good job.
Okay, Lucas, I want to ask you about a level on volume. In the volume course, we talked about that if a high candle, very large candle, has a high volume, we can dissect it on a lower time frame. Okay, can we use it in our edge?
Yeah, we're pretty much using it. It's just that where can we see an example? Yeah, we generally use stuff like that, right? So let's say this piece is coming down. We see super high volume. We go down to the 5 anyway, just to see where the highest volume is. So it's no different from the course. That's what we have been doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the course, we went, let's say, from 4 hours to 1 hour to 15 to 5 to see where the high volume is. Now we go from 1 hour to 5, so 2 time frames lower.
Yeah, the lowest time frame you need to go to is just the 5. Just to see where the highest volume is.
See the details. Okay.
Yeah, see the details. Right. Any of you guys took any trade on Friday? No.
I took a trade on Euro USD sell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think Lucas, you replied me in the post already. There was a volume ahead of me. I was trying to sell. I think another thing is that it caused me problem is I didn't realize that it actually can be the primary. So it will not go far. It should stop there. But when I was selling up there, selling somewhere up there, I was targeting this area because I was thinking the high volume, they're more sort of in this kind of area.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, I think that was a mistake. But I have a question. I think my question number one is I'm not quite sure if I'm seeing this correctly on 1 hour. So on 1 hour, we have this downtrend, right? So then we have this little range, which invited the buyer. And then we have another range here, little range, right? So so that looks like a trap. And then it released there already, which made a low. And then when this pullback, so basically it's pulling back to an area because I think the first mistake I made was I was thinking about this sell was selling the on phase. Sort of yes and no, because now we are looking at the new refresh. I think that's a little range. If that's not inviting enough buyers, that range definitely invited enough buyers. So that is more kind of like primary. I think the first mistake I made was like I didn't thought that it was primary, so my target was there, which screwed me up. But the other thing I was thinking about is when this thing pulls back, is that area a good level? Initially, I was thinking maybe not. And then I look at it again, maybe yes, because for these guys, it seems like that's a fake out and people would try to buy from there. Therefore, it created a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if my analysis here is right.
Okay. Sorry. Just choke on myself. Anyway. Yep. You assume this is a refresh?
Yeah.
Range. This is on phase for sure. All right, it's primary, secondary. I think this is on phase. I'm not sure it's a new refresh yet on this particular area here. Because if this is primary, this is secondary, there might just be another push that goes down.
Okay.
The other thing that there is two more things that could be sort of a risk. The first thing is considering this as a refresh. I am not too sure to call it a refresh because usually when we are looking at a refresh, the best type of refresh is to trap as many buyers as possible, right? So let's say in a downtrend, the best area to have us do a refresh is to make sure the last seller is like properly taken out. And then you clearly see a lot of buyers coming in and then sell from there. So in this case, we're still sort of inside this zone here.
Yeah.
So a refresh like that might just be a much better refresh. The other logic you can try and use with this is if this high cannot make lower lows, why is it?
Better price.
Yeah, it needs a better price here. But here, the story is a little bit different because here you're assuming that it's on, it should continue. But if it fails to continue going down, then if it fails here, then it just means that this price may not be enough, maybe. So in cases like that, I will hope for the entire this piece to be taken out to invite buyers coming in.
All right.
So that's one piece of the refresh. If you make a low and then the on phase fails, and you're seeing that it can potentially be a refresh, but it's still within the same boundary as the previous area, then it's sort of a little bit two-sided for me.
Okay. Yeah.
The other thing you also have to consider is this is your release. If buyers are really trapped, this price failed, not sure if this price is gonna work. Right? It did work afterwards, but at this point, I wouldn't be sure because why is it coming in so deep?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My other question is, so this shape is really, I think it confuses me a little bit, is that so I was thinking this was my last guy who started it, and then I was thinking that was the primary, and then that was the secondary, and then then I was thinking
it's a launch.
We start. Yeah, so that was the on. Yeah.
Yep.
Not quite sure if my read on that. Obviously, you read it in a bigger scale. So yeah.
It's fine to call this primary, secondary, and then doing the sell here, because you still have the fact that maybe all these guys are still trying to buy, still trying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
still
and then they got trapped. And this could be like on second leg kind of situation or the third leg situation.
Yeah.
So doing the sell here is still okay. It's still okay. It's just, I think when we were talking about this, the volume wasn't so good.
No.
Yeah. So this is fine, I think. It's just this piece here is
this piece is
that piece is question mark.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have another question. Is really about. I found it's very hard to catch the primary, especially on the 5 minutes. So to catch the primary on 5 minutes, we still need to have a trap there, right, before we enter the trade.
The easiest kind, yes.
Yeah, because obviously this one is not the primary, but if we look at the 5 minutes, I'm not quite sure if that's some trade we could enter. If you please drop to the 5 minutes.
This one here?
No, the other one, that one. That one.
Okay.
Because it did have lots of volume coming.
Yep. Let's see. So
yeah,
you will be doing the same thing, taking this guy out.
So enter there. So that's basically the trap, right?
Yeah, something like that. But this wasn't properly taken out. But let's assume it's properly taken out.
Yeah.
Then you would enter there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that, when we're doing primary, we're always worried about the level below us. So let's say this is primary. There is a zone here where it could just stop very quickly. So it's stuff like that. I can show you a very good example. It's from a long time ago. Let me see if I can find it. So let's say we are in an uptrend. Okay, assuming that this seller here, last guy who started, is taken out. Okay, assuming that we potentially can do a refresh, and potentially there's a range for us to do a refresh situation like that.
Right.
So this is a very easy example because you see space. That's the first most important thing on the higher time frame. The next area that could potentially mess with you is maybe up there. Okay, but anyway, let me go down to the 5. On the 5, you're looking at an area for potential primary. This zone here, 60-minute zone. And then same thing, you're just looking for where the trend turns with high volume. In this case, Yeah, high volume up here, high volume here, high volume here, and then super highest volume down here.
Yeah.
So this zone got broken.
Yeah.
This area could be a potential area to pick up the buys, pick up the primary towards this zone here, and then see what happens next. So it's same thing. Maybe just this last few weeks, we do not really see a clear primary. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So still, in the 5 minutes, we need to see that turn for the primary as well.
Yeah. You need to see the turn.
Yeah.
And the only thing that you're worried about for primary is you're worried that you don't have enough space before it stops.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Laila, you had a question?
Yeah, can we go back to the other chart?
Yeah, sure.
Isn't it this, when this seller tried for the second time to go down and not being able to go down, and now you see high volume and this weeks, isn't it when Naveen calls it trend pullback failure? So if this could have a chance to go up, and then you shouldn't trust the sells here.
If it has a chance to go.
In this case, you're seeing a lot of fighting, and this could be like a trend pullback failure that Naveen talks about.
Yeah.
And because it has tried to go down and not being able to go down. So this could be like, and the buyer comes up, and then you could take a buy up. Then you change like this, you shouldn't trust this sell anymore because it has already tried. And this could be something for the higher time frame where all of this is like trying to make a primary, maybe a secondary.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. So that buy, right? You don't want to buy it right now because you still have to make sure you have a trend with your 60 kind of situation to buy.
You could take that buy even though you have this area. Check the higher time frame.
Yeah, you have to check the higher time frame. It's not a clear sell also because you have such a huge range here. So just based on this alone, what might happen is, let's assume that this is from a higher time frame and we might see a huge slowdown and then the buys from there goes up and a huge refresh on maybe a daily time frame that does that, maybe.
Or if you have a lot of volume in this range coming up over that range, then you have all the volume behind you, not a lot of volume here, then you can't take it.
Yeah, only if, we're not counter trending and MAs are not touching that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
It's more so like this one here. Yeah, like if on Friday we had this push, then that would be a very straightforward trend pullback failure, where then higher time frame is primary and lower time frame, not lower time frame, but higher time frame is primary and secondary. On the daily time frame, then this trend pullback failure has a lot more sense to it, makes more sense.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, what's our pound Swiss? Okay, so at this stage, I won't be looking at the buys anymore because it's too strong.
Yeah.
Okay, Aussie CAD. Yeah, it might just leave from this zone. Yeah, someone who's more aggressive can potentially take the trade from here, assuming that it will continue to push down. But because I'm a little bit more conservative, I would have my stops up there for sure. Yeah, not deep enough this pullback. Right, but without going down to the 5 minute, we can also see that this short-term 5 minute 3 candles pullback does have high volume at the top. Yep, Laila, you raised your hand.
Yeah, you say it's not enough pullback. I'm saying this week came up to this level.
Yep.
Not enough.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little bit unsure. It should leave now, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be enough. You have high volume. Where do you have high volume? Around all this zone, right? So if this guy is taken out, then it should be on. But we are really close to where the problem could come in, which is here. And then once we're through that, we should make our way to recent low. Yeah, but I'm also thinking that because we are in an on phase, waiting for this and this might be asking too much. Because we're already on and we're still waiting for so many tests, right? This is already like a test. And then this is like a test of this test situation.
But can't you say that you have a big range above you and beneath you? It's so much so you could expect a prolonged test. And then I'm seeing also that this is a channel, and if you break the channel, maybe you could have a chance to take it down anyway.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I don't think if this trade, whether it makes money or not, I think it's something worth taking once it reaches down.
Smaller size. You have all that volume above you.
Yep, all here. But the thing is, right, if we do take our sell here, we're not protected by this volume unless our stops are here.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So the volume here is our protection as a wall, right? So our stops here, then we can say, yeah, I have volume behind me. Volume is gonna hold markets for me. But if our stops here, then it's not really protecting us. It's just based on the fact that we know it's on, we know it should go. We have some high volume coming in, that kind of situation. So USD CAD making new highs. Euro CAD still strong. Kiwi CAD not going anywhere. So it's not, maybe it's an Aussie thing, right? Not really a CAD thing. For now, at least. So let's just have a look at some of the Aussie pairs, Aussie USD. See, Aussie is strong. What else do we have? Aussie Yen, Aussie is strong. Aussie Swiss. Aussie strong. So more or less strong with strong. So it's hard to find correlated pairs, which is fine. Yeah. So let's see what Aussie CAD is going to do. I'm interested to follow this pair as well. Yeah, not the brightest day today.
No.
All right. Any other question before we wrap things up? Ian, go ahead.
Yeah. Can we see a possible entry on USD Swiss franc? Because I missed it.
Okay.
Let's
see.
So I missed it because I was looking on 1 hour only, and I didn't see this change of the trend. And the possible trade from my side could be here.
Yep.
Until, I don't know, maybe somewhere here.
Yep.
You stop loss here because it was the last trap here.
Yep. Yep. That's the only entry I see.
And the 1 hour, I put my area of interest higher because I consider it the last trap if we go on 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I consider this is the last trap, and for a few pips it didn't reach to here, so I didn't look it. I expected it to go into this trap and then go to 5 minutes and fade this pullback in order to take the trade.
Yeah. So when you're around that zone and when the market is open, you have to start watching the 5 because you're already at the zone. These lows could just hold price.
Okay.
These lows.
Okay. So I judged the trap, the immediate trap wrong.
Yeah, it's the entire zone you want to look for. Yeah, and the time of day.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So the sell will ideally be here if you're looking for a sell. If another seller pullback comes in, then that's a problem for the sell. Because if the analysis is based on this trend going down, this overall pullback, refresh, this should continue pushing down without having much trouble. If it stops and do another set of pullback without making lower lows, then that would just be our Aussie cat, which is tricky. Then we would ask the question, why is it has launched from here? Why is it stopping? And why is there another set of pullback coming in without making lower lows? So going back to USD Swiss, this is a good example of selling it here. And if you miss this, then chances are you want to stand aside and don't trade anything that has another set of pullback coming in again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, I have a question on New Zealand CHF from Friday.
Yeah, sure.
So with these move with the pullback, I know it broke. I mean, make higher a little bit, but this considered primary and this one secondary.
Okay. So primary and secondary, right? They are generally just for us to label where the turning point is. So this zone is where the downtrend turns, right? So we're just trying to label where primary is and where secondary is in this turning zone. So let's say if it pulls back, this could be a secondary and then the entire thing turns. Once it has turned, right? Let's say you're looking at this time frame, this is the low, it has turned, sort of made towards the same low, and then start pulling back, then I think this could just be an on-phase situation. So it's not really a primary, secondary thing. It might just be this, like that.
Because I watched it when it broke, even this section of the previous day. I was like waiting for the pullback to come, but I just it keeps running away. Then I went to check the other pair like pound CHF. I ended up chasing that one just to get the entry.
Okay.
I couldn't get like the real entry, so I was wondering maybe it's already on the on face. That's why I couldn't get entry.
All right. Yeah. So this piece, right? If you're looking at this, and this is a potential pullback, it doesn't matter what this is, right? All you know is this is potential trap for you to sell. That's all. So around here, it's a little bit more tricky because it's more cheese style kind of situation. This would be hard to get in, for sure.
I was just right there.
Here? Yeah. It's tough.
Thank you.
So like the Aussie cat situation, although the pattern looks different, but the story is like this, right? Primary, secondary, and then launch kind of situation. And then from here, on Aussie cat, what it's doing, it's start pulling back. So although the pattern is different, but the logic on Aussie cat is this right here. It has done its job of primary, secondary, pulls back, supposed to go. It has went, but it stopped to make lower lows. And then without lower lows, it start pulling back. Yeah, do you guys see like the pattern may be different, but the logic is more important. All right. Any other questions? Nope. All right. Well, I guess we'll stop here for now and see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.
No problem. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye bye.